By the way, just a note. I know David Haye is supposed to be on this call. We haven't been able to reach him yet. We're hopeful that he will call in at some point during this call. So for now, let's direct all questions to Dereck, Frank, and Travis. Thank you.
The floor is now open for questions. At this time, if you have a question or comment, please press *1 on your touch-tone phone. If at any point your question is answered, you may remove yourself from the queue by pressing the # key. Again, we do ask that while you pose your question that you pick up your handset to provide optimal sound quality. Today's call is being recorded. Your first question comes from the line of Dan Rayfeld with ESPN.
Thank you. Hello, Dereck. How are you?
Hey, buddy. How are you?
I'm good. My question for you is when the situation occurred between yourself and David following the press conference that you had after your fight with Haye, was that the first time that you and David had ever sort of engaged like that, or was there some sort of history of, kind of back and forth between you two guys prior to that?
I'll be honest with you.
Hold on a second. I don't think we can.
Okay, we're good.
There we go.
My first pro fight, I used to like David Haye. I used to go watch him defend his European title. And then the fight, me and his brothers came up. And then while I was in Germany, something happened. And then the rumor went on, said David Haye is the one who put the drugs on it, saying things happened. I was like, all right then, fine. And then I was at the agenda. If I see him, I'm going to rough him up. So all along for the past year and a half, I haven't bumped into him. And then when after the fight, I see the guy mouthing off, talking too loud, and then that's what happened.
When was that, Dereck?
When me and him bumped into each other.
This was at one of his fights, in Germany?
Yeah, in Germany. That was the first time I saw him.
So the first time you ever saw David in person was at your fight with Vitaly Klitschko?
No, I saw David Haye twice when he was defending his European title. This was like a couple of years ago, and I never saw him then. I never saw him again. And then I saw him again at when I was fighting, after I finished fighting at the press conference in Germany.
So when you saw him at that European title defense that David had, you just saw him, but you didn't really talk to him or get acquainted with him?
No, I was a fan. I'll be genuine and honest with you. I was a fan. I went to watch a great fight. You done well, and then I left.
So your first personal interaction with him was in the fight that you had with Vitaly Klitschko. Like, in other words, there was no history of like a bad situation between you two guys to set you up. It just happened that time. It wasn't like it had built from some other previous event. Is that correct?
No, it built it. I always tell people in London, when you see David, you tell him I'm looking for him, and he knew why I was looking for him. And then when I saw him, the finish being 12 rounds, and he said he landed the first shot, and I knew he was on.
Now, when the situation happened at the press conference, because even though he was sort of yelling stuff at you from the back of the room, it was sort of your moment because you had just fought for the heavyweight title. Even though you had lost, you had obviously put on a very spirited and exciting performance. And do you think that what happened after that fight, because of the brawl that you two guys had, that it took away at all from what you had done in the ring against Vitaly, even though you weren't the winner?
Yeah, it took away a lot. Everybody painted me with a bad name. I think in America, call me the John Wayne of Europe, apparently. And it painted my name basically badly. But you know what? I will redeem my name back again after this fight.
So do you regret at all? Because it's one thing for guys to yell and talk and say bad names.
I always say on national TV, I say to you about 5 times in Great Britain, I say I apologize for saying I want to shoot this guy, but the rest of the things I don't really regret. This is a fight mode. I was in the fight spirit. I'm in no tickling competition. I love fighting, and this is all I know right now, fighting. So, the only thing I regret is I want to shoot the guy. I never shot anybody. I never owned a gun, so I regret for that. I apologize to the British public for that.
Okay, and one other thing. Who glassed who? Can you say who was the person that began that situation with the bottles? Because the video is not exactly the clearest thing in the world.
Yeah, there's so many videos. David Haye is the one who had a glass in his hand, and then he decided to swing with that, and then he swing the tripod. He's on training with a tripod. It's like he brings weapons to the party. So, that's his own way. But what can I say? But you know what? I'm past over that. I don't really care about the glass thing, about anything else. The fight is happening, and I'll just have to show him in the ring.
Very good. Thank you very much, Dereck. I wish you good luck.
Your next question comes from the line of David Charles Worth with the Press Association.
Hi, Dereck. I was just wondering, what's the fan reaction been like in the UK towards you?
Me, I got different fans. I got my wealthy fans, my middle class fans, and then I got my other fans down at the bottom of the chain. But everybody loves me the same way. Some of them were not happy about it, but those who were not happy about it, they told me in my face, you know what, we're not happy with what you did and stuff like that. And I told them I'm sorry and stuff like that. But now they coming to watch the fight.
Yeah. Are you aiming to avoid controversy in the run up to the fight?
I'll just keep it to myself. He's the one who's going on blogging, because that's his way of. That's the only way he knows how to fight. Is he a real proper boxer? Can he go in the ring and say he's a true champion? Like, is he one of the best ever champions we've ever seen? No, I don't think so.
Yeah. What are you aiming to give your fans on Saturday night?
Hey, listen, man, I'm gonna give you a great fight. It's gonna be a great fight.
Yeah.
What do you say? With my style and his style, no taking nothing from David. He comes in great shape. He comes in, he trains hard. It's going to be two great athletes in our ring, and then we'll see what's going to happen.
Do you think it'll go the distance, or have you planned for it to go the distance at all?
No, it's not going to go the distance. Put it this way.
Yeah. Do you regard it as the toughest fight of your career?
The toughest fight in my career was my fourth fight. Yeah.
Yeah. Will you shake his hand after the fight as well? Will it be all forgotten, or will you just move on, type of thing?
We'll see.
You'll see. Yeah. And what are your future plans after the fight?
The future plans right now is me and this guy fighting. That's what I see right now.
Yeah. Yeah, but would you want to step in with the Klitschko's again, or would you want a rematch with Hellenius again after this fight?
I don't even think Hellenius is fighting. When was his last fight?
Sorry?
When was Robert Hellenius' last fight? With me?
Yeah, it was you. Yeah, I think so.
That's the problem. Just certain people, the other European countries, they always give their fighters nobody to fight, and they say, oh, he's a great fighter, Chuck's great combination and stuff like that. But these fighters, they don't know how to fight. No one wants to fight nobody now. Boxers don't want to fight boxers. They want to fight easy fights and lie to the public they're the greatest thing ever. I don't think Robert Hellenius will ever fight me, and he won't be the same fighter ever again.
Yeah, of course. Well, I wish you the best of luck. Thank you for your time, Dereck. Cheers.
Oh, yeah.
Bye.
Your next question comes from the line of Gareth Davies with Talgraph Media Group.
Good evening, Dereck. I hope things are going well for you in preparation this week. Could I ask, first of all, do you think that the way David Haye's been talking about this fight with you, that he's going to toy with you, that he's going to use you as a template, that he's underestimating the skills you actually have?
This is what I say to the Los Angeles guy. David is a talker. He's a hype. David Haye will talk to himself way to a world title fight. He always got his talking. He's going to toy with me. It's always mind games. But we don't pay him. I don't pay him mind. I don't follow all these things he says on Twitter and everything. I always hear people telling me, I don't really care, to be honest with you. you know, he has to do what makes him happy. You know, he knows what's coming. And he knows the way I fight.
But do you think he's, you know, you showed against Klitschko. I mean, I spoke to Freddie Roach this week. I was over in L.A. last week interviewing Amir Khan, and I just had a chat to Freddie Roach. It wasn't kind of an on-the-record kind of interview with him about the fight between you and David, but Freddie Roach, who's a great analyst of boxing, seemed to, you know, he's very impressed with the way, he said, you know, there were shades of Joe Frazier in the way that Dereck was moving against Vitaly Klitschko, that kind of coming in with the bobbing head, looking for the hooks. And I know you planned for that kind of thing against Vitaly, coming forward, always keeping your head moving. And Freddie seemed to be saying that he believes that you'll give David a very, very tough fight, and maybe David hasn't realised quite how tough it's going to be. And are you preparing for that kind of contest where you try to break his will during the fight?
It's a fight. And I'm not here to box this guy. I'm there to fight. I want to fight. You know, I'm from the round one to whenever the round is finished, I want to fight. And I want to be fighting. You know, my sparring was great. You know, I had Joe Hanks here in London. You know, he was there for 3 weeks. You know, he's got the same style as David Haye. You know, me and him were loving the sparring, you know. And I had certain cruiserweight. I had Nathan Cleverly coming down to help me as well, you know. And David Haye don't know what he's getting himself involved in. You know, this is going to be a fight.
Have you ever been into fights, gone into fights when you haven't felt as mentally strong as this? And yet, obviously, for this one, you've got a reason that you really want to win it more than any other. Is this a bigger fight for you than you've ever had before in many senses because of what's gone before?
Listen, you know, it's a big fight. You know, loads of people are watching it. Everybody's hyping up on it. Which way you because I don't want to lose perception. You know, it's a big fight. Everybody's watching it. You know, it's going to be explosive. You know, outdoors. You know, it's going to be amazing. And I'm well prepared for this fight.
Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Thanks, Gareth.
Your next question comes from the line of Lynn Satterfield with RingTV.com.
Hey, Dereck, how are you?
Hi, buddy. How are you?
I'm blessed. What does it say about you that your two biggest fights were a controversial loss, controversial decision against Hellenius, the draw or whatever, and the loss to Klitschko, and that those two fights have given you, in addition to the situation with David Haye, have given you attention? What does it say to you that people have kind of gravitated to you, and what does it say about your ability and your heart and the kind of fighter you are?
You know what? It's been a while since people watch a great fight. It's been a long time people could actually walk about and say, you know what, if you watch that great fight I would date, And I like to bring that to the ring when I come in, when I step in the ring. I like to give it all. I like to be tired. I want to get tired. By round 5, I want to push myself to boundaries I've never been at. And, and to those people, like when I went in Helsinki, even Stevie Wonder could have told you I won that fight.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I didn't complain about it. I just said, all right, I'm fine, my dude, I'm done. Okay, let's leave, because I didn't have no power to complain about it. Only the public felt my pain. Mm-hmm. And I came back up the group, I got offered a pistol fight. I trained. The only thing that beat me that day was experience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then now this fight is happening. So,
Dereck, what are some of the personal things you hear? Can you remember some of the things you hear from your fans? What they say about you, what they say they like about you, and, do they say things like they're rooting for you and that kind of thing? What kind of things do you hear?
You know what? Right now it's 50-50. David Haye has his own crowd. I got my own crowd, Everything is just 50-50 right now.
What are your fans saying to you about what they like about the way you fight? And do you have an affinity for those fans?
Yeah, most people tell me I'm a throwback. I bring the old school style into play. I just keep coming forward. Joe Frazier. I just keep moving. And with that kind of style, you have to be fit. You can never do that style when you don't train hard.
Okay. My last question is, Joe Frazier's name. Is that someone try to emulate in the ring, or do you have a specific person or any fighters that you admire?
I always
you try to bring?
I'm not the tallest heavyweight you'd ever see, but I was born in the wrong era. Everybody I fight was like 6'7", and it was tall guys. And then I was like, you know what? Me and my trainer, we decided let's go with this style. And then so far it's been working right for us. People love the style. I'm always moving. My legs are always working. So we like the style. We're going to try and improve on the style.
Okay. Dereck, thanks a lot. Good luck in the fight.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lem.
Your next question is a follow-up from the line of Dan Raphael with ESPN.
Thank you. Hello, Dereck. I had just a couple of follow-up questions for you. When you fought Vitaly Klitschko earlier this year, you took a lot of good shots. Vitaly's got one of the best knockout percentages in the history of boxing. And
sorry, I didn't hear you.
Say it again.
I didn't hear you. Can you repeat that again, please?
Yeah, I said when you faced Vitaly earlier in the year, you took a lot of good shots from him, and he's a guy that has one of the best knockout percentages in the history of heavyweight boxing, and is known to be an excellent puncher. David is known to be a good puncher also, although I'm not sure it's on the same level as Vitaly. My question to you is, because you were able to take the kind of shots you took from Vitaly and never seemed to be really badly hurt by any of those punches, does that give you confidence to think that you should not have any issues taking the shots from David Haye when he does land those punches?
Early on, somebody asked me what's your hardest fight you ever fought, and I told you my fourth fight in the professional game. A guy, Darren Morgan, hit me so hard, I didn't even realize where I was. I came back to the corner, and my trainer goes to me, "What's wrong?" I go, "I just been hit." He goes, "Yeah." I go, "This guy hit." He goes, "I know he hit." It took me about 2 minutes to come back.
Call and I'll be done. I've got one more call to do after this finish.
Have you?
Go ahead, Dereck. Continue. I'm sorry. Someone must have interrupted.
Yeah, and then afterwards, I started learning a trick. As the punch comes, you can ride it or you can meet it halfway. If you meet it halfway, you're gonna get hurt. Either you ride it, you go with it, and they always told me Vitaly could hit. And to be honest, he didn't rock me. The only he knew a good body shot, which kind of winded me in the third round, and that was the best shot he ever hit me with. But with me going in there with David Haye, David Haye is a cruiserweight. He can only hit you if he sees an opportunity, but we're not going to give him an opportunity to hit me.
Now, David's only loss before the Klitschko fight was as a cruiserweight by a stoppage, against Carl Thompson, but it's many years ago. You figure that you're going to be able to get to his chin? Since we know you have a great chin, and you've shown that in your career, but do you think you'll be able to do damage to David when you touch him?
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
So do you think this is a knockout for you? Because, it's hard to see the way that you two guys fight, see this thing going a full 12 rounds.
Trust me, he's getting knocked out.
Yeah, well, since you're so cavalier about saying he's getting knocked out, is there a round that you're predicting? You think it's an early knockout, a late knockout? How do you view the fight with that respect?
He's knocking me out in round 2.
That's what he said he's going to do to you.
Yeah, he said he's going to knock me out in round 2.
When do you say you're going to knock him out?
He's going to go down in round 7.
Okay. Any reason for that, or just lucky 7?
Lucky 7.
Not for him.
I have one more question for you. The word on the street, so to speak, is that if you are successful in this fight and you beat David Haye, that you are the leading contender on the list to get a fight at the end of the year against Vladimir Klitschko for his heavyweight titles. Have you heard about that? What do you think about that? And I'm sure you would love that opportunity if it came to pass.
I'm not going to jump into that one again because the K2 promotions, they are dogs. They like to they do it's like slavery is what they do, and I don't like them. So everything they always want to do it their own way, and I don't like that. So I won't be jumping into that. I'll see what me and Frank will decide. But I already got a fight in mind anyway, which I want anyway. I don't know about the fight yet, but I'll tell him after that.
So you're not necessarily anxious and looking forward to jumping into that kind of a fight? Is that because the way that the business deal is done?
Yeah, he's got any American boys out there you want me to beat up, it's fine. Just let me know a name and then we'll make that happen.
Yeah. So
okay.
Let me answer that question.
Okay, thank you very much, Dereck. Appreciate it.
Yeah, go ahead, Frank.
Let me answer that question. The only way we will fight Vladimir Klitschko is when we get into the number one spot. He fought for the worst purse ever last time to get the opportunity to fight Vitaly. And we signed a couple of years ago, or 18 months ago, to fight Vladimir. And Vladimir pulled out of the fight twice, one 2 days before the fight, on the advice of his trainer, making out he had a bad back injury. Let me tell you now, if that fight goes on, it's in the number one spot, and we want, not we, when I say we, me representing Dereck, want to make sure he gets paid properly this time.
Frank, you think the way to get paid properly then is to be the mandatory, is that correct?
Correct, yeah.
Okay, so if they come to you, the K2 people, if David is successful and want to sit down and negotiate a fight, are you saying that you don't even want to talk to them about it, or that you would talk, but that you need to be?
I'm saying they can forget about the jump change they've been paying people, because that's what's been going on. The caliber of the fight she's getting is because of the amount of money that puts put on the table. So that ain't going to happen. It'll have to be for proper money. And at the end of the day, let me tell you something. If that fight goes to first, we can do as much business over here as they can do in Germany with that. So, although they've got a bigger end of the purse bid to play with, the fact of the matter is we could probably draw 40,000 to 50,000 people to a venue over here, and they won't want to be coming here. So they can, if they get a number one spot, they can find the money for it.
Well, Frank, if my memory serves correct, is in the original incarnation when they made the deal with David, when Vladimir fought him, originally it was supposed to be in England, and something happened with the stadium deal that the Haye people had promised, and that's why the fight wound up in Germany. So I think that Vladimir has always been willing to go to fight in England, and if you could then deliver that type of stadium deal that he was anxious to have, do you think you could lure him over there without having to go to any kind of purse bid? Because it seems like he's willing to travel.
I'm not sure. Yeah, he was willing to travel to fight David Haye. Whether he's willing to travel to fight Dereck Chisora is a different thing altogether.
Okay.
They won't want to be coming out of Germany, I promise you.
Okay, thank you very much, Frank. Really appreciate that.
You're welcome.
I think we have time for a couple more questions. Go ahead.
Your next question comes from line with Mike Coppinger with The Ring.
Hi, Dereck. How are you?
Hey, Mike.
Hey, buddy, how are you?
Yeah, after you being robbed against Hellenius, and then the Klitschko fight, I thought the fight was pretty close, and they had it wide. Does that give you more urgency to get a knockout, and are you worried about judging?
No, I'm not worried about judges. We got fair judges. That's one of the things we had to sort out first. The judges and the ref, and we picked the right judges and we picked the right ref. I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about that, to be honest with you. I'm just looking forward to the fight. I just hope my opponent comes ready, because I'm ready.
And follow-up, why do you think your style will give him problems?
Because I want to be all over this guy. I want to be all over him like a baby's rash. So he's never fought anybody like me. He try compares me to Ruiz. What is it, Ruiz? Yeah, Ruiz. He try compare me to Ruiz. I know what kind of style he's got. I've boxed people with that kind of style. He's never boxed anyone with my style, basically.
Again, I'm sorry I'll keep butting in here. You've got to remember, Dereck, you look at what David Haye's done at heavyweight, he's done well to to win the fight, which for me was a boring fight against Valuev. But, you know, Valuev, who seems to have been the twin brother from young Frankenstein, the way he moves around the ring. You know, you're talking about a guy here who comes to fight, and he comes to fight, Dereck. He's got mobility, he's got speed, he can punch. And, you know, I can't see, you know, see what happened with David. The first real live heavyweight he came up against in Vladimir Klitschko, you see what happened. You know, he backed off him. And I can't see him coming to fight Dereck and trade with him. He said as soon as that bell goes, he's going to try and do that in the first round. So that remains to be seen. But I just see Dereck being too mobile for him and too fast. That's the difference in the quality of the opposition. Dereck is a live fighter. He's fighting a live fighter. He's fighting a guy who comes to fight. You know, he's not Monty Barrett. He's not John Ruiz. And bear in mind, Monty Barrett and John Ruiz both wobbled David Haye.
Thanks, Frank.
Your next question comes from the line of Chris Williams with C Boxing Info.
Hey, Dereck, how you doing today?
Hey, buddy, how are you?
Okay, question for you. Now, you have a lot of American fans paying attention, and a great deal because of the incident with Haye at the press conference. Tell us why we should be interested in Dereck Chisora. You've basically lost three out of four of your last fights.
The reason why you're interested, that's the same reason you stew on this phone. That's why you type in to ask all these questions, because I'm a great fighter. People want to watch me fight. No, it's not like if I'm fighting, they're like, oh, you know what, do I want to watch this fight? There's only two ways about it. You're going to say, you know what, yes, we're watching this fight. And you're going to watch it. Those Americans who want to watch, those Americans who like fighting, they're going to watch this fight. And those who are not into fighting, they will not watch it.
Gotcha.
You know,
now,
all right?
Now going forward, though, do you feel that you have to have a stellar performance against Haye, a knockout performance against him, in order to draw interest going forward or in the future?
You know, a win is a win. Knockout or without a knockout. You know, this boy's going to have to fight of his lifetime. You know, it's always put a pressure like, oh, you know, you have to go knock him out, you have to knock him out, because everybody wants to see a knockout. You know, a knockout guys come after you go through the round. You know, some of my great fighters, my fighters I know, they don't go in the ring and stand and knock the geezer away. They work on it. They work as rounds and rounds goes on. The fighters sometimes they forget where they are. You know, they start doing mistakes, and that's one thing that David Haye does, loads of mistakes.
Yeah. Now, a win is a win normally in any sport. But in the heavyweight division that's struggling for attention right now, looking for, this guy to come along and be this big time, get rid of the Klitschkos, we need a superstar. So for you to say a win is a win, do you understand the magnitude of what you're actually fighting for, being a heavyweight?
I'm fighting. Right now, me and him are fighting for pride, for somebody for us to walk in London with our head hold up high. That's what we're fighting. But it's about pride. This ain't about, the winner of this can go fight the Klitschkos. We know, even when David Haye went to fight the Klitschkos, he didn't have nothing. If you want a knockout, we'll give you a knockout.
Gotcha. So if it's a matter of pride, we understand that. But as far as, I'm looking at you saying Dereck Chisora has, good skills. I'd like to see him go further. If it's not about the Klitschkos, what is it about besides pride?
Right now, it's just me knocking his fool out because I don't like him.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much.
Dereck, we just got word from David Haye. He decided not to join the call. I didn't know if you had any comment on that or not.
I don't know. David Haye's a drama queen. I don't even know why you don't pay attention to his always drama queen. He's fighting for good, of course. It's up to him. We don't really care. The show must go on. I don't think any of your top athletes in the States, they do this kind of stuff, you know. He's a drama kid, he wants attention, so what you do to a kid who wants attention, you give him more attention. So let's give him attention. Let's say, oh, he's enjoying the press conference call, blah, 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 blah. No, we don't care anyway. I don't really care, to be honest.
Very good. Before we wrap up the call, I'd like to go around the horn here. Travis, just before I put you back on here, just a reminder again, 4:30 p.m. in the United States live this Saturday on Epix. And, of course, it'll be streamed live on epixhd.com at 4:30 p.m. East Coast time. And if you're in New York, it'll be on the Jumbotron on Epix Jumbotron in Times Square, and that's on Broadway between 44th and 45th Street. Travis, any last words?
Once again, I want to thank the fans on the fan line. Last weekend, Freddie mentioned Times Square. We had a great turnout there. It's summertime in New York, Saturday afternoon in Times Square on that big screen. We had a great turnout last week, and I'm sure this is going to be a fight. And as Dereck said, people like to watch a fight, and I think a lot of people are going to be out there. And Dereck, it's going to be exciting to have you on our air again for your third fight. And you can do me the personal favor in reminding David, thanks for showing up for the conference call today.
I will.
Frank, any final words before we conclude the call? I think we lost Frank. I'll leave it to you, Dereck, to close the call out. Any final words to the media here in the United States?
Yeah, man, keep doing what you're doing. Keep writing about boxing, the sport I love. And when everything is right, I'll fly over to the States. Right now, I don't think they'll let me in. But when everything is sorted and fixed, I'll be there. And tune in and make sure you watch the fight. It's going to be a great fight.
Thanks, Dereck. We wish you a lot of luck. We'll all be watching. We're all confident it'll be a very exciting performance. And wish you, again, the best of luck. And thank you to everybody for joining us today. We'll have a transcript forthcoming within the next 24 hours. And, again, we'll see you this Saturday, 4:30 p.m. East Coast time, 1:30 p.m. West Coast time on Epix and live online, streamed online with epixhd.com. Have a great day, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dereck.
Thank you. This does conclude today's teleconference. Please disconnect your lines at this time and have a wonderful day.